What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. This video is going to be all about generative fill, and I'm going to show you guys my retouching process. So let's go ahead and jump straight into that. Whenever you're doing a photo, you always want to make sure that you're changing the pixels or the dimension of the photo to whatever you're going to be posting the photo on. So if you're on Instagram and you're going to be posting portraits, you want to make sure that the dimension is 1080 by 1350. And if you're doing a landscape, you want to make sure that it's 1080 by 566. In this case, we're going to be doing a 1080 by 1350, and I'm going to do create, and make sure that your photos are on 16-bit. Some people do 8-bit, some people do 32-bit. But if you're going to be using the frequency separation method, which is my method and what I use to retouch and smooth the skin of my photos, the texture, all that different stuff, my process 16-bit, go to create, and then from here you just want to grab your photo and then upload it to Photoshop. So I'm in my files right here, and I'm just going to locate them. They're in pictures. Raws need to be edited, and then I got my photos right here, so I'm just going to grab whichever one I want. I think I'm gonna do this one right here. Now, don't mind the fact that his face is turned. We could not get him to focus whatsoever. I mean, we got a lot of good photos, but this is just one of the many photos where his head was just turned and he wasn't paying attention. But what we want to do here is, I told y'all in one of my recent videos, if you're here on YouTube from my Instagram, you watched my recent videos, and I told you guys, usually you want to crop your photos down to meet Instagram's dimension. So Instagram's portrait dimension is 4.5 as a crop, and Instagram's landscape is 16 by 9. In this case, we want to make sure that it's 4 by 5. Now, actually, in this case, we don't want to make sure it's 4 by 5. And the reason being is because you see how it's when it's full, it covers up more of that photo. But if we have it on 4.5, 4 by 5, it's going to make it a lot closer. And that's just not a frame that we want. It's just too close for comfort. So we're going to go back, make sure that it's on full. And then we're going to go to edits up here, and we want to zoom in and just kind of like fix up certain areas where the lighting is messed up. So if we zoom in right here, we can go to the details and fix up the details, bring up the radius. If it's too sharp, drop the sharpening and bring up the mask. Just kind of play with that until you get it to look how you want it to look. That looks pretty fine. And there's really not much that we really have to do here. Like usually I play around with the exposure, the contrast, highlights, all that other stuff. There's really not much that we actually have to do here. So I'm gonna click OK, and it's gonna drop into Photoshop. And then from here, I'm just gonna blow the photo up just so that it fits the entire screen. And then I'm gonna grab the rectangle tool up here at the top left corner. And then I'm gonna make an entire selection around the subject, making sure I get every part of them. And once we have that, I'm gonna go to select, go to inverse, and then I wanna right click, generative fill. And once that's done generating, it's gonna give me something like this. Now you're gonna see here, this isn't something that we want, you know what I mean? It generated us something that just does not look good. And it's gonna give you 3 different ones for you to choose from. So you can look through these and figure out whichever one works for you. But if you don't see anything that works, just go through and then reselect or remake your selection, and then just clean up certain areas. So like you see this little line right here, when we invert that, this line is gonna be here in the frame. So we don't want that. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna hold Alt and then remove that square from over that, and then same thing from over this side, so that that line just isn't in the photo. And then around his hair, I'm gonna hold Alt and just get around that side using the lasso tool so that I get more of an accurate result. Once that looks like that, I'm gonna go back to select, and then I'm gonna go to inverse, and then I'm gonna right click, generative fill, and it's gonna give me a much better result. So this is what it's looking like. And if we zoom in right here, we're gonna see that his hair just kind of got messed up or distorted in the process of us trying to figure out which one looks the best. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna see if I can use the clone stamp tool just to kind of get rid of some of that right here. So that looks fine for the most part. It doesn't have to be perfect because this is just an example. It's not like I'm sending this to a client. I've already sent these photos to a client. They actually loved them. So if you want to see what all of these photos look like this entire session, then go over to my Instagram and you'll see them posted on my page. So right here, this image isn't the sharpest. This one came out a little blurry, but it's fine. We're just going to use this for the example. Just like I said before, you want to make sure that you're doing the basic adjustments to your photo. So like this one is a little too bright. So what I'm going to do is drop the highlights and the contrast, or not the highlights and the contrast, the highlights and the exposure. And then I'm going to bring up the details a little bit, the sharpening, details, radius, and see it's looking a little bit more sharper. What I want to do now is go to effects and bring up the clarity, and what this is going to do is make those highlights a lot more lighter, and it's going to darken the shadows, but it's going to make the picture a lot more sharper. So we're going to bring this up a little bit, and then I want to go over here to the crop tool, and I want to change the angle, because if you see, the photo is on a slant, right? So we want to change the angle just to kind of make it straight. All right, so boom, that's what that's looking like. We're gonna click OK, upload it to Photoshop. And then I'm gonna blow it up in just the same exact way as I showed y'all in the last example. I want to take the rectangle tool and then go around the entire subject. So I want to go over his head right here and just remove this line from being inside of the frame. And then what I'm going to do now is go up here to select, go to inverse, and then it's going to invert that box that we just made, covering everything outside of the subject. So what I'm going to do now is right click, go to generative fill, generate, and if you did everything right, it's going to look something like this. So you can go through the different variations to see what works best. I think I'm liking this one so far, so I'm going to merge these together by clicking one, holding shift, and then clicking the other layer, and it's going to allow me to select both of these layers. So click one, hold shift, and then click the other one, and then I want to right click on one of them and then merge layer. So if you enjoyed this transformation video, if you enjoyed this little tutorial, you go ahead and hit the like button, follow me for more videos like this. Y'all went crazy on a recent video, and I appreciate the support that I'm getting on this channel so far. We only posted a couple videos, and I plan on posting a lot more, but y'all gotta engage with the videos, man. I need y'all to like the videos, I need y'all to share them, and most importantly, I need y'all to subscribe to the channel if I'm gonna create more videos like this. If you want weekly transformation videos and quicker tutorials, go to my Instagram. I post those weekly every Monday. And I also do retouching coaching. I have a masterclass that I do, so you can learn my entire process. I'll teach you absolutely everything. So you can go check that out on my website. I have classes every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you want to book a session with me and level up your editing skills, then let's do it. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.